And get this, he's got Eli Manning tendencies in his game. You know what that is? When Nick Foles is hot, that dude is like fire iron hot. When that dude is cold, that dude's the worst thing I've seen since Carson Wentz's worst. I'm getting now people texting me, how come I'm not on your show any longer? I'm like, well, it's not what it is. I mean, everyone, that Barrett's on WIP this morning, kicking it around with Angelo. That's really awesome, by the way.
Oh, man, I appreciate them calling me, man. You know, I mean, talking about an icon. He's an icon of this.
Hey, Barrett, Angelo, in my opinion, is an entertainer. He gets it. The rest of those guys, look, I'm not going to talk shit on John and Ike. The rest of them guys, whatever, man, they're salesmen. Okay. However, that's great because you know why? That means you're making waves, man. That means you're talking. That means you're expanding. That means people think that's a great thing. Now, with also that, they're going to call you a bullshit artist.
Well, I love it then. I love being right, too. Watch what I tell you.
It's a merit badge.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. When people start taking shots at you, you're relevant. That's a great thing, man. That's a super thing. First thing
I just can't see it. Now, come Friday, you really think that they're going to want to take that $40 million cap hit?
No. No. Who in their right? Well, watch this. Let me acquire more dead money. And if they move him, you have $30 million on your books.
Yep.
Come on, man.
On your book.
Why would I do that?
And they can't take it. I mean, they can't take it off. Even if they trade him, it's on the books, man. So at what point do you say, all right, we're just going to take this deal? I mean, that's why I say I can't see. I just can't seem to see how the Eagles aren't in play when you think realistically on how the rest of the league looks at Deshaun Watson.
Look here. Here's the best example of that. San Francisco traded everything they had to get to number 2, I think it was, to get Trey Lance.
Yep.
With the Dolphins. Okay? So they could get up there in the 2-hole. They got Garoppolo. Guy's been to 2 NFC championship games in 3 years. But they like that guy in Houston better. Cleveland has the number 1 overall pick. And now he's doing crying baby stories and he's writing like sonnets and he's like quoting like Shakespeare. I'm going to start calling Baker Mayfield Shakespeare. That's his new nickname, Baker Shakespeare, because he's writing all these like, I love ladders and you know. Hey, Shakespeare, shut up. No one cares. You're a cheerleader. And you're the dude that drops the chick. You're not anybody I want as my starting quarterback on my football team. For anybody that has to have his tears wiped. Over with, guy. Your character is why that team sucks.
Bro, at what point do you say the Eagles are set right now to just overlook a franchise quarterback that's a top 3 quarterback, top 5 quarterback?
Barrett, even if they gave me no's, I'd be calling Caserio going, Nick, you'll be out of work in 2 years. If you take the Carolina deal or the Saints deal or the Falcons deal, you know the only other team would be like the Jets and the Giants with all those ones that they have. But the Jets are a shit franchise. The Giants are in transition. You're going to go to Brian Dable. Okay, I don't know. Hey, no one's guaranteeing because you could be the greatest assistant coach on the planet. Wade Phillips is considered one of the greatest defensive coordinators of all time.
Yes.
He was okay as a coach. Head coach.
Head coach, yeah, okay.
Who says he's going to be a great head coach? Right?
Exactly. You got to show me more than you can tell me. You know, and the reason why he didn't go last year, I think he needed he wasn't ready as a head coach to go.
You imagine Baker Mayfield in Philly? He'd
No,
start
he'd
that
be eaten
crying shit.
alive.
Hey, by the
He'd be
way,
eaten alive.
hey, watch this. Can you imagine him putting a letter in the Inquirer? Hey, Philly fans or Eagle fans, I'd like to tell you guys, I'm going to try harder next year. They're going to go, shut up. Shut up. His name is Wentz Shakespeare from now on. What a tool bag. I mean it, man. I have no respect for people who do that publicly. Hey, look, man, Barrett, if I had a problem, I go with one of my teammates and I go, hey, hey, man, this is like, this. I just wish the noise would settle down. And then you could talk it out with your boys. But you don't do what Wentz does. Hey, I got to tell you, man. And by the way, did you find, I heard it was, who was the guy? Was it Sproles that had a problem with Wentz?
Yeah.
I heard it was Sproles that he went to, and Sproles went to him and confronted him on it, saying that he was hoping that Foles failed. And he didn't like that Foles was carrying the team. Yeah.
And it was going to be a huge fight. I mean, Sproles going to whoop that. Yeah.
Hey, how about that? It was Sproles that confronted him. That's the word. Sproles confronted him when he got word that Wentz was barking that, subtly saying that he didn't really like the fact
kind of laughing about it.
Yeah.
Well,
Sproles confronts him in the locker room. Wentz could have got his ass kicked right there.
Right.
My money's on Sproles. That dude's a fire plug, man.
So I'm looking
my money's on that dude.
I'm looking for Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter said that the Eagles aren't interested. I doubt if he'd say that. I'm looking for it now.
Hold on. Adam Schefter says the Eagles aren't interested.
Yeah, I don't see it. Where's it at?
Just wait a minute, Barrett. Let me put the brakes on that. You mean like when Pete Carroll 3 weeks ago said that we have no intentions of trading?
Right, exactly.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
You mean like that?
Yeah, like we're doing everything possible to keep him around to as our franchise quarterback.
Pete Carroll was quoted. We have no intention of trading Russell Wilson. Next week, dude. We've been working on it for 3 weeks.
Right, exactly.
Oh, man.
Exactly.
Remember something. These GMs are bullshit artists. They're professional liars. They're the closest thing to strippers and car salesmen.
I never heard it said like that, but yeah, you're absolutely right.
Well, a stripper's a professional liar. Hey, I really love you. Man, you're wonderful looking. Not
right
that
now.
I had those things said to me. I'm just making them from what I hear and, from what I do on Google. When you Google, you know me. I mean, Google porn's always great when you're doing that. Sorry up there, whatever. So, I mean, like when you're doing that, I mean, dude, man. And then you get salesmen, and that's what most GMs are. The professional salesmen.
Well, I mean, I still don't see it.
Okay, Kevin, lawyers too. They're professional liars.
Yeah, I don't see it, man. So I mean, I'm trying to figure out if he I don't see it on his timeline. So,
hey, Xander brought a great point up just now, and some people would think this is BS. Howie told Schefter to keep quiet on the Eagles, and he will give him the story if he breaks it. That's exactly how it works. That's exactly how it works.
Hey. Or they drop a dime and say, "Hey, man, just like they did to you." They said, "Well, hold off on the Mike Vick. Wait until 12 o'clock."
Here, I'm going to give you an example. Adam Schefter, Bruce Allen. Hey, Adam, take a look at this trade story and tell me if no. This is Adam Schefter to Bruce Allen. I'm writing a story. By the way, who broke the RG3 story? You can Google that too. Big Sills was the one saying that RG3 was going to be released from Washington. Who broke that? Bruce Allen came on my program, and I broke that story too. No one had that but me. He came on, I go, "Are you moving on from RG3?" And he goes, "Yes." I scooped the DC dudes. I'm going to show you how this – I did. This is how this works. Watch this. Adam Schefter's got a story on the Eagles. Howie, take a look at this story. Do I need to edit it? Looks good to me. They go with it. And by the way, that was chronicled in a story about 3 months ago that Schefter got caught doing that to Bruce Allen. Bruce Allen I've known for 40 years. Okay? Bruce is notorious for calling me. You know who used to also do this? Watch this. Sileo. DeBartolo's going to get the 49ers taken away from him. And I used to go like this. And guess who used to be one of my biggest sources? It was Al Davis. He would tell me he would call me. You know what he wanted me to do? He wanted me to spy on the Bucks once. Because you know what they did? They brought Charlie Gardner in.
Yeah.
They brought Tim Brown in. They brought that guy Ricky Dudley in, who was a stiff tight end.
Tight end, yep.
And he goes like this. How are they doing? What are they? Those guys are all washed up. And I'm going like, man, it's the Bucks and it's Bruce and Rich McKay was still there. And I'm like, man, I was like, I felt uncomfortable doing that because both guys were my friends. But Al would go back. He goes, those guys. He sat on the phone with me for 3 hours, cussing Bruce Allen and John Gruden out. By the way, how John Gruden got back to the Raiders will always be the biggest mystery to me because Al Davis hated him. Hated him. It's a fact. I tried to get Amy Trask involved. She goes, leave me out of this. You know too much, Dan. And I was like, yeah.
I never thought they hated him. I never thought they hated him.
Oh, Al Davis despised him. He called him the MFer, told him that he hopes he dies. He goes, and that two-faced Bruce Allen. Called him a two-face because they ended up working their way out of that deal. They ended up getting draft choices for him. But Al Davis never forgave John Gruden. And when Mark Davis hired him, bro, I went like this. How in the hell did that happen? Al hated him with a passion. Hated John Gruden. Was on the phone with me for hours, Barrett. I'm sitting in the Pico lot at Fox Sports, and I'm sitting there for 3 hours in my car. Hey, I would get this call. Watch it. My wife was my producer for 20 years. She would sit there and go, Fudgy's on the phone. That was Al's assistant. Dan, hi, Fudgy. Coach Davis is coming on. Hey, Coach, how you doing? Hey, I got something for you here. Clyde Christensen is going to be going to the Buccaneers. Let me know when. I'll give you the details tomorrow. I'd go on my radio show in Tampa and go like this. Clyde Christensen's going to be signing as offensive coordinator with the Buccaneers. That's how I got all my insight. This is how these guys do it. You do favors. So, and somebody brought this up yesterday too, Barrett. Well, you know, if Deshaun Watson comes to, Philly, all the media people will be bashing on Deshaun. I go, oh, you think the Philadelphia Eagles, who are broadcast on WIP, you think those hosts are going to start going personal and shitting all over Deshaun Watson if he comes to Philly? You know what that Eagle team will do? You know this better than anybody. Accessibility will be denied.
Bro, they hold a grudge also. They hold a serious grudge. They will not let you in the building. Ask my boy Joe. Joe Selaquito, he when he wrote that story about Wentz, he almost got blacklisted from being in the locker room, period.
So get this. I want to show you something. MON money. Adam Schefter said on The Fanatic with Kincaid today, no reason to check in, nothing to see, no movement. That's not a denial.
Right.
Where do you see the Eagles are? Hey, in that quote, and I know you're paraphrasing, but where do you see, and Adam's a brilliant dude at this, he keeps open ends. That's an open-ended answer. Watch this. Nothing to report. Hey, Barrett, I could do it. Hey, Dan, what about the Eagles' opportunity at landing Deshaun? Nothing to report. Nothing to check in for. Because there isn't, because everybody's talking to him now and his representatives. That's not a denial. That's a lawyer's answer.
Well, it's almost you can look at it from a bunch of different ways. They'll say, all right, nobody's talking to him, but yet and still, instead of going in the draft to get a pass rusher, they go and get Hassan Reddick because they're going to use their 3-1s to get Deshaun. I mean, that's kind of the same thing you're talking about right there. Or we're going to add this over here and add that over there, and that's what makes it equal this. I mean, they do it all the time, man, all the time. But it just makes a lot of sense for the Eagles because they just have the draft capital, the cap room to make things happen, make players available for their franchise to help them out. It just makes too much sense for them not to.
So I'd go to that shithole Cleveland instead of Philly.
Right.
What were you sending me Baker too?
What else do they have, man?
What are you going to send, Garrett? You'd have to.
Yep. You'd have to send him.
You'd have to send Myles
And
Garrett.
who else, though? One of the running backs?
Oh, yeah. You'd send Kareem Hunt. You wouldn't want to send Chubb.
Austin Hooper?
You always send the guy that you traded for or you signed as a free agent. You never signed your hometown guy. Right. You never trade your home guy. You always trade the guy that you made a deal for. Yeah, because again, that's a personnel thing, personnel department. You know how they are.
Right,
They'd
that's our guy. Yeah, that's our guy. We'll fall on the sword for him.
We'll fall on the sword for him. We'll send you Kareem. Okay? And, hey, I'm glad you see that. You agree? Okay, good. He agrees. And so, yeah, nothing to report here. No shit. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. And by the way, who do you believe, Adam Schefter or Joe Banner?
I believe Joe.
What's this? I'm not saying that. And by the way, I love doing this too. I actually do it a little bit. I did it to you yesterday, but watch it. Hold on, Barrett. Yeah. Okay, thank you. There's a chance that Deshaun could be in Philadelphia and they all meet and have conversation. The thing he does on TV with the phone in his hand. I mean, dude, it's a great gimmick. I admire the gimmick he's made. He's like, you know what he is? To me, he's like Hulk Hogan. He's got a gimmick. Wrestlers call it a gimmick. Adam's got a gimmick. And he's like this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I got the weed whacker in my hand as my gimmick.
I'm just thinking at this point, who else would really be just being upfront? Who else could offer anything comparable to what the Eagles
Giants
can offer?
I'll give you Saquon Barkley. I'll give you that Leonard kid, that DT.
Yeah.
And I'll give you my two ones this year. And I could spread out maybe a one next year and a one after that too. So I'll give you Barkley. What's his name? Leonard Williams?
Yeah.
I'll give you that DT, who's a good player, by the way.
He's a very good player.
Okay. And I'll give you my 2-2s. And then I'll start giving, and I'll give you like spread out deals next year and the year after that. I could do it that way. I think you could bite and nibble on something like that. Okay, that would be the Jets could. Here, I got the list in front of me here. The Lions. I'm sorry I even brought that up, dude. I mean, like, okay. You know, I brought this up. You know what? I'm gonna ask again. If you're Doug Peterson, how don't you do this, dude? I'll give you last year's number one, this year's number one, my first round pick next year, and I'll give you 3 players off my roster that we have right now, and I'll give you 2s and 3s. If you're he lives in the South. I mean, he's from the South. He's from Atlanta.
Yep.
Jacksonville's not far away.
3 hours.
And you're going with a coach who you can trust in Doug Peterson. Believe me, after the Urban Liar nightmare, you're going to have a coach in there who's a former player, who's also a guy who understands the game. And a Super Bowl. You know how many Super Bowl coaches are in the game right now active? Doug Peterson, John Harbaugh, who else? Belichick.
Texans head coach.
No,
he's not a winner.
He wasn't a head guy. Sean McVay. Who else? I got 4. What I'm saying is, there ain't a lot of them dudes.
No. Lovey wasn't the head coach then?
No. No.
with the Bears?
No. Yeah, he got the team. He got the team to the Super Bowl. He didn't win it.
Oh, he didn't win it. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, that was his Bears team with Rex Grossman.
Yeah.
Bruce Arians win. Andy Reid. There's like 6, 7 dudes, man. And if you're Deshaun Watson, how about this? I get to go to Jacksonville. I get to stay. I mean,
Tomlin also. Yep, that's right. Tomlin also.
Hey, how about this? I mean, Barrett, tell me that doesn't. And I'm giving you an opportunity to have Trevor Lawrence too. Last year's one, this year's one, a one next year. Players, dude.
Now that might be because that's the first pick this year also.
Yeah, I'm giving you two. I'm giving you a guy who was said to be the best prospect in the history of evaluating the quarterback position, in Trevor Lawrence,
who was groomed since 707, like 10,
Dude.
12 years old.
And I'm giving you one this year, which means this. I still get Neil for him in Texas. I still get the kid, and I get a one next year. Come on, man. If you're – look, and I say this to you because I'm trying to make an example. The 49ers have 2 quarterbacks in the conversation. And get this, look at their quarterback room. Their quarterback room is better than the Eagle quarterback room just by success alone. Garoppolo has done 10 times. How about this? If Jalen Hurts ever duplicated anything Jimmy Garoppolo did on a football field,
not right now.
The Eagles would be thankful that he was 36-16 and been to 2 NFC championship games in 3 years. You could say whatever you want about Garoppolo, but the success that he has, he's 5-2 in the postseason also, having whipped Aaron Rodgers a few times. I mean, dude, don't think anything is out of the realm of possibility right now for a guy like this.
And he almost got he almost ruffled up the one of the best coach player tandems in the league, you know, with Brady and Belichick. He was almost that guy to split that duo in half during the time before he was with when he was with New England. If it wasn't for the owner's the only thing that kept Tom Brady there.
How about this, Barrett? What do you think the chances the Patriots made a call?
Oh, of course they made a call. They just don't have any.
They're not going to trade him to them because it's AFC.
Right.
And it's Bill. You don't think Bill went like this? Mac Jones is a fine ball player. Mac Jones gives us the division again. And if we win the division like we did with Brady, it gives us a puncher's chance in the postseason. Deshaun Watson watch this. Deshaun Watson on the Patriots, they win the AFC.
Yeah. Easy.
So wait a minute. I'm not going to make a call because I drafted Mac Jones. How dumb is that conversation? That's for fans to go. They never do it. You and me know this. They search out every possibility, and they do it to exhaustion, don't they, Barrett?
I mean, look at what they've done. I mean, they let players go on the assumption of another player. I mean, they're great at that. That's what they do. That's why he's one of the best GM/coaches in the league. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to turn over every stone. And best believe he's been on the phone calling them. And he just doesn't have any assets right now that he could make something happen.
Dominique, you bring a great point up. I can't wait for this Deshaun Watson to sign so we can kill this noise. Here's the one thing else. And Barrett, it's a great point because you know why? I'm not suggesting to you that the Eagles are 100% going to land him. But what I do want to know is I want to make sure that the Eagles got up to the plate and made their swings. I want my 3 swings at this. And get this, at the end of the day, if it comes out that the Eagles took their 3 swings and they took their best 3 swings, not on them.
No.
But if you come in there with some shitty offer and you come in there less than market value what people are offering, you were never really interested in it. And then I'd question your motive on winning, because if you think you're going to win a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts, you are smoking crack.
Well, you know, you have to be in on the Watson. I mean, he even went so far as to say that his job is to make sure this Eagles team is better, not make friends, but make this team better. And you can't you obviously can't say that you tried to make the team better if you didn't try to go out and get the best quarterback on the market right now. He is the best quarterback on the market right now. The best player on the market right now.
This guy Smitty goes, Foles won a Super Bowl. You actually think that Jalen Hurts has the arm that Nick Foles does and the accuracy? Absolutely not. He's just not consistent enough. His problem is he's a substitute teacher. That's all he is. And get this, he's got Eli Manning tendencies in his game. You know what that is? When Nick Foles is hot, that dude is like fire iron hot. When that dude is cold, that dude's the worst thing I've seen since Carson Wentz's worst. He could be as bad as Wentz.
Yeah. That's why I say he's not a starting.
As a quarterback, right, Barrett? You don't want those gigantic swings. And that's what always has derailed Foles' career. You have this giant high, Super Bowl MVP, can't get any higher. Then you have him shit in the bed in Jacksonville. You can't go like that. Organizations can't build a franchise around guys who are on the seesaw like that. They want guys like this. That's why Garoppolo is such a commodity, Barrett.
Well, that's why Jalen. So there you go. So that's why Jalen Hurts right now is.
That's right. Jalen balances the seesaw.
Yeah.
He's like, what? Look, Gardner Minshew's more like this.
Yep.
Okay? Brady's like this, but he's up here like this.
Right.
Right? But watch this. Aaron Rodgers up here till he gets to the postseason, and he's like this. You're trying to get as much stability as you possibly can. And that's what the difference in Foles was. Foles couldn't beat Andy freaking Dalton out.
Well, he lost his job to Gardner Minshew in Jacksonville. Signed an $80 million contract. It was like $88 million for 4 years. I mean, that's ridiculous. And did nothing while he was there.
I thought Brock Osweiler stole money in Houston. This guy went into Jacksonville, and he also went without a gun. But he went in with a mask and said, give me all your money. And Jacksonville did it because they thought they had the guy there. He's just a substitute teacher, but he does have tendencies. And he's got a Super Bowl arm. It's proven. Jalen doesn't. Dude, has Jalen Hurts gotten better as a read progression guy since Alabama?
He's gotten better as a quarterback since he left Alabama.
Okay, very nice. Way to broaden it. Nicely done there by you. Nicely done by you because the intangibles and all around it. Okay.
Well, I'm talking about when he became a better passer
at Oklahoma.
With his arm, and you don't read defenses at that level. They didn't teach him to read defense at that level. He had Lamb there. Every time Lamb ran a route, he was wide open. He wasn't reading anything. He just throwing it to the open receiver. And CeeDee Lamb was open every time he threw to him. It wasn't like he was leading him or anything else. Oh, he's open by about 10 yards. Let me get the ball to him. So it's hard to say, did he get any better as far as reading? I mean, none of these quarterbacks really read. They never had to. You mean even you look at Joe Burrows. Joe Burrows didn't read anything while he was at LSU. He won the championship. He won that because look at the receivers that he had. Everybody was open. Some of the embarrassment of riches. I mean, everybody was open out there. So to think that you come into the NFL and you're going to learn how to play quarterback. It's going to take a while to learn how to play quarterback.
By the way, my aunt really likes you.
Does it?
I go, this guy's like 6'6", like and a half, and he's like 340 pounds, and like he killed guys. I sent her a picture, that 76 picture that Xander posted. She's like, wow. I go, oh yeah, this guy's one of them sun blotters too, man. He's like, he comes to the line of scrimmage. You're like this, holy shit, I'm gonna have to turn my ankle on this guy. This guy's gonna roll off that ball, dog. She's like, I go, no, he's like He's like one of those big. I'll tell you what, man. He could probably fill his helmet up with probably 10 gallons of water. This dude's a big boy, man.
You know what? When I used to go to different teams, man, they'd be like, "Man, you looked a lot bigger when you was there." You know what I'm saying?
You look bigger in Philly green.
Right. I mean, what?
Yeah, Barrett, you look real lean in that Steeler gear, man, but you look like a horse in that Eagle gear, dude. Oh, yeah, my aunt's like, man, he's really a nice guy. I go, don't let it fool you, though, man.
Hey, man, you got to turn it on.
He's working at being a nice guy. You understand that. He's been working at it like I have. She's like, what do you mean? He's not a jerk. I go, oh, man, you got to understand. He wanted to rip my throat out. Like 20 years ago, okay, 15 years ago, this guy wanted to take my jugular and break it over his knee and then, drop a deuce on me. And she's like this. I go, hon, I'm not saying it's a figurative thing. He's a nice guy now. And she's like, well, he just seems like a sweetheart. I go, oh, really? I'll make sure I tell him that. and I go, hey, remember something, man. He was schooled by the sergeant. Okay. Your mom, I call your mom the sergeant now. It's what I go. I go, Sergeant Brooks was, that's the one that schooled his ass, man. Sergeant Brooks.
Well, like I said, man, you got to be able to turn it on and off, man, because there was times, man, I couldn't turn it off sometimes, man, but now I'm not trying to get to heaven like my mom, but
you got three daughters, right?
Yeah, 3 daughters. Can
I ask you one thing before we go to timeout?
Yeah, what's up?
My daughter goes like this to me. Dad, you're the dumbest person I've ever met in my entire life. You're so stupid with some of the things you think. And I've never had anybody talk more shit to me in my life than my kid. I have never, ever. And, I did this about 3 years ago. I said, Danielle, I'm going to bury you here. The crabs are going to find you like later on in life after I buried you in the sand. She looks over at the person that's laying next to her. She goes, he'll never do that. This guy's a coward now. He used to be a tough. She's saying this in front. I'm going like, what? I mean, I my respect level with I don't know what with you, man.
Put it like this, man. Like my daughters, man. I used to have to like all the boyfriends. They're like tall guys, so they all played basketball, and I used to take them to the court, dog, and punish them just so they know. Punish them, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just to prove a point. I had to soak in Epsom salt afterwards, but just for that time, had to punish these guys and make sure they treated my daughters right, man.
I did this to this every time a guy walks in, like supposedly we're having a couple dudes over, and so like this guy comes walking in, I go, "What's your name again?" She's like, "Dad, you know his name's Johnny," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, how you doing, Johnny? What's up, man?" or I'll do some shit like I'll go, "What's your name, man?" He goes, Mr. Sileo. I go, "Yeah, don't Mr. Sileo me, man. I know the game. I know how to work it." You don't play that role with me, man. I go, absolutely not, guy. Believe me, everything you've tried, I've done.
Right.
Okay, so don't. And my wife's like, shut up, will you please? And so I don't know. All right, let's take a timeout. This thing's on autopilot here, man, because I do believe. Are the Eagles the front runner? Are they in the mix? Where are they in this ladder for Watson? We'll do it next. Barrett Brooks, Dan.